basic section or clause which are important from the Act and Regulation. Part 1, Preliminary, Section 3, Interpretation. Definition of terms that are essential to comprehending the regulation are provided in this part. These include chemical definition, hazardous chemical definition, a chemical classified as a hazardous chemical under Regulation 4, safety data sheet definition, and update information sheet required under Part V, containing information relevant to hazardous chemical, process like warning and danger. For the regulation to be interpreted and applied consistently, clear definitions are necessary. It is essential to comprehend these terminologies in order to handle, classify, and label hazardous compound in the workplace appropriately. Part 4, Labeling. Section 8, Duty to label packaging of hazardous chemical. The labeling of packaging containing hazardous chemicals is required under this provision to ensure that handler and employees are aware of the risks associated with handling chemicals. Proper labeling is vital for conveying important information about the hazard posed by the substance. Important information is included on label, including the signal words, changer pictograms, and cautionary comments which help people adopt the appropriate safety measures when handling chemicals. If there is any change to the classification of the hazardous chemical resulting in a new hazard which is more severe than an existing hazard, the suppliers shall ensure that the label is updated within 3 months from the date of such changing, taking into account the effect of such change to the protection of human health and environment. Part 5, Safety Data Sheet, Section 13, Duty to furnish safety data sheet. The provision of a safety data sheet SDS for hazardous compound is mandated by this section. SDS provide comprehensive detail on the characteristic, risk, safe handling practice, and emergency protocol of the chemical. By ensuring that pertinent information is easily accessible to employees, first responder, and other stakeholders, furnishing SDS promotes safe practice and efficient emergency response in the event of a chemical disaster. A safety data sheet shall contain the information relating to the hazardous chemical supply and chemical mixture referred to in the sub-regulation 1 according to the following headings and order. The first one is identification of the hazardous chemical and of the supplier, hazard identification, composition and information of the ingredient of the hazardous chemical, first aid measure, firefighting measures, accidental release measures, handling and storage, exposed control and personal protection, physical and chemical properties, stability and reactivity, toxicological information, ecological information, disposal information, transportation information, regulatory information, and other information.
Thank you, Hazelin. Next, we go to part 6, which is the inventory of hazardous chemicals. It is very important in this section for certain parties to make special monitoring for the safety of workers and to enable the identification of hazardous chemicals and the adoption of appropriate safety measures to manage, store, and use such materials. The inventory of hazardous chemicals for each calendar year must be submitted to the Director General no later than March 31 of the following year. Next, we go to part 2, which is classification. Protecting employees from any side effects due to exposure to chemical substances is one of the employer's responsibilities as stipulated under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. Workers can experience irritation on the skin, body parts, whether external or internal, because it has a temporary or long-term effect depending on the level of the chemical. So it is very important for employees to know the category or classification of chemicals so that they are careful and handle them professionally. Next, we go to the next point, which is record the classification. The classification record must contain all the information as specified in the ICOP-CHC format. It is emphasized that SDS is not a classification record and it is different from ICOP-CHC. Not recording the classification of chemicals can have dire consequences. Therefore, recording the classification of chemicals is essential for good safety and compliance when handling chemicals in the workplace or wherever they are used. Next, we go to part 3, which is the packaging. Packaging must be safe to use and suitable for chemicals so that they are not easily damaged and do not harm workers who handle chemicals. Chemicals can be exposed to air and can be dangerous if stored in inappropriate containers. So it is important to ensure that all chemicals are stored properly according to the safety guidelines outlined.
In 2019, an electrician on the STI Winnie vessel died while maintaining an inner gas scrubber pump starter panel. He came into contact with live 440-volt terminal inside a local group starter panel LGSP cabinet, and despite first aid, he was declared dead. This tragedy highlights a critical safety lapse. The absence of a warning label on the LGSP cabinet's lower section containing the 440-volt terminals. This violated the Occupational Safety and Health Regulation 2013, which require hazard pictograms. Adhering to this regulation is crucial to prevent such incidents and ensure personal safety. In Article 2, in 2019, and Maridas illegally dumped oil sludge into Sungai Kim Kim, Johor, affecting over 2,000 people. The toxic waste caused lasting health issues, including myokemia for Ifan Wafi Idham Wazi, who still needs crutches. This incident violated the Occupational Safety and Health Regulation 2013, which mandated proper hazardous waste disposal method in the safety data sheet. This failure underscored the critical importance of following safety guidelines to protect public health.
Today, I'll highlight the importance of strict precautions in hazardous areas, using two incidents as example: the unauthorized disposal of waste into Sungai Kim Kim and the electrocution of an electrician on the oil tankers the Winnie. These incidents stress the need for efficient risk assessment and control method to prevent accidents and comply with the Hazardous Chemical Regulation 2013. The first step is a risk assessment, is identifying hazard related to hazardous chemical. For example, on Steve Winnie, the main risk was exposure to 440-volt electrical power during maintenance. In the Sungai Kim Kim incident, the risk was improper disposal of toxic waste affecting the environment and public health. Next, we conduct risk analysis to evaluate the likelihood and severity of accidents. Electrical maintenance poses a substantial electrocution risk, while the Sungai Kim Kim incident resulted in serious environmental and health hazard, affecting almost 2,000 people and closing 111 schools. Hazards are then evaluated against criteria for determining their acceptability. The classification, labeling, and safety data sheets of Chemicals of Hazard Regulation 2013 guide us in identifying and handling dangerous chemicals. When these standards are violated, unacceptable hazards are indicated, which call for the implementation of efficient safety procedures. Now, for control methods, our organization prioritizes safety with efficient control techniques for high voltage system and hazardous substance. Engineering control involves physical change to eliminate risk. We can store hazardous material and electrical components safely, isolate electrical system, insulate leaf component, and use logout or takeout procedure during maintenance. We also can have on-site waste treatment facilities and continuous monitoring system to detect hazard immediately. For administrative control, focus on enhancing guidelines and practice. We have comprehensive standard operating procedure, which is SOP, for handling hazardous chemical and electrical maintenance, including emergency response and regulatory compliance. Regular staff training covers emergency response, self-handling procedure, and hazard recognition. We can maintain waste tracking system for accountability and update emergency response plan regularly. Lastly is personal protective equipment, which is PPE. PPE is important for protecting our employees. We have to provide chemical resistant suits, gloves, and boots to prevent skin contact with hazardous substances, and mask or respirator to prevent inhalation of harmful fumes. Insulated glove, tools, and other protective gear prevent electrical contact and injuries. By implementing these methods, we ensure a safe and secure workplace for all employees. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now, I would like to present about the type of preparation that can be practiced by the management to avoid repeated accident in the near future. So, the first step is provide continuous safety and awareness training to every staff members. The security management system consists of program, process, policies, and procedures that have a formal function that is important to the organizations. For example, such accident shows the critical needs for extreme vigilance in dangerous area. This obliquely put the management in charge of optimizing a high level of employee safety, because systematic employee involvement in safety can reduce the possibility of human error, and a regular safety program can help ensure that all staff know how to respond effectively. Next, the second step is the management should carry out inspection at the workplace periodically to avoid the possibility of accidents. Organization can improve overall safety measures and identify areas for improvement by conducting audits or safety management practice, areas, and equipment used by employee. Therefore, it is clear that periodic inspection at the workplace can save workers from accident involving a long period of time due to the compliance with established procedure. That's all from me. Thank you.